Last week we started our 3-week adventure through Canada, a country that packs plenty of punch on the scenery front, and this week is no exception. Rattling on the famed Rocky Mountaineer to Lake Louise, cruising along one of the world's most magnificent drives, and exploring the charming little town of Banff. First up though, our scenic tour has delivered us to a remote corner of Canada called Inlet, prime habitat for grizzly bears.
Wow, that is one spectacular flight. I feel as if I've just flown through heaven. This is where there are no roads in. We're right up in the armpit of a remote inlet so isolated from the rest of the world. It's where humpbacks and killers and cougars and wolves choose to frolic and roam. But we've pushed into the wild west coast of Canada's British Columbia for one reason alone: the grizzly.
Knight Inlet is the largest of the major inlets on this part of the coast, and it's prime grizzly habitat. The floating lodge here is home for the next couple of days in the wilderness. Once you're acquainted with your surroundings, the first thing you want to do is head out in search of the elusive grizzly, or perhaps not so elusive.
We just saw a bear on the kayak, which is just what I wanted to do the whole time I was over here. So saw 2 grizzlies yesterday and some black bears just right around the corner from the lodge here. So
it's amazing, isn't it?
So close to the wildlife.
Yeah, and you think
close.
It's such a rare experience to see a bear ever,
Yeah.
and you've seen half a dozen already.
And it's only been here one day now.
What we're really looking for is anything that sticks out at you. Sometimes there's logs that get lodged in there on high tides, but what we're looking for is any part of a bear, whether a shoulder hump, rear end, rump, ears.
Oh, so there's one right there. We're not even 300 metres from the lodge.
No, this looks like a young male grizzly bear, actually. You can tell that it's a grizzly from that hump behind its head on its shoulder there. That's that incredible muscle they build. And what it's doing right now, it looks like it's moving through the rockweed or that seaweed on the shore, trying to get at those white barnacles and the mussels as well.
So how old do you think he would be?
Probably between 3.5 to about 4.5 years old. Certainly built quite a bit of muscle as well, fairly solid, so I would...
He seems completely unruffled about us being here.
We will get an occasional glance over the shoulder. You can see right now, he's just looking at us.
Yeah.
And then back to feeding. So again, that's what we want. Bears are aware of their surroundings.
This place is absolutely teeming with wildlife, and finding it is far easier than I'd imagined.
So what have we... Deer there?
Yes, can you see the 2 little ones here?
Yeah.
So those are 2 fawns, and this is their mother. And you'll just see them just between the tops of the sedge grass here, but we don't look like wolves, we don't look like cougars, which are their main predators, so they're happy enough with us being at a fairly close distance. There's a bear just down, see it?
Yeah.
So that looks like a beautiful grizzly bear. It could be one of our female bears.
Much lighter colour than the last.
Very light in color. And the bears here, even though we think of a grizzly bear being a brown bear, they can be anywhere from a beautiful blonde to even an almost dark brown or almost black brown in color.
I'm told the blonde bear is named Lenore, and she's been a regular around here for years.
So how rare is it to see something like this?
Well, what we're seeing here, we've got 2 female subadult grizzly bears, and they're fairly young. They just got kicked out from their mother this year. So in the spring, we're lucky enough to see some family groups still together. Even after their mother kicks them out, it's possible that siblings, like these 2 sisters that we're seeing, will stay together for safety. It's an extra pair of eyes, an extra nose, and somebody at your back.
And how long are they likely to stay together?
Well, that depends based on their kind of sibling bond. They may actually stay together for up to the whole first season that they're on their own. They may den together, but it just depends on each pair.
Night Inlet is an add-on to Scenic's Icons of Western Canada tour. And for this happy guest, it's been the highlight of the journey.
The scenery just blows you away, and the bonus of the wildlife is just so special.
And best of all, out here in this vast wilderness, you're not competing with droves of tourists. You have the joint pretty much to yourself. And with a capacity of only 30 guests, you're guaranteed as much peace and quiet as you can bear. Welcome back to our adventure through the genetically blessed country of Canada. And even hanging out at the local railway station, the good old Canadian scenery doesn't miss a beat.
Well, here we are at Banff station waiting for the Rocky Mountaineer, and a bear's lined up as well. I hope he's got his own class.
Wait around the train station.
What have you enjoyed most so far?
The scenery, getting up in the mountains.
We've had a blast. It feels like we've been living it up. A little bit unusual for us, but...
You know, train travel polarises people. For some, the experience is way too close to public transport with its rattle, shake and squeeze and unreliable schedule. For others, it's as if they died and gone to heaven, drink in hand, barrelling through the scenery and coupled to the dining car, cocooned in luxury. And that's the way to do it, like this: magnificence, opulence and gourmet extravagance.
Having been awarded countless accolades for its service and, of course, its scenery, this legendary train journey through the Canadian Rockies takes in thrashing waterfalls, endless forests, and enough spectacular vistas to make your eyes hurt. Got to wonder why they don't build all trains like this. This really is a fabulous viewing platform. But I guess it's not relevant on the commuter line from, say, Flinders to Frankston. We're just getting a taste of this smorgasbord of luxury train travel, but Scenic passengers will spend 2 full days on here as it winds its way through postcard-perfect backdrops between Vancouver and Banff. There's one thing that might help peel your eyes away from the riveting scenery. It's the food.
According to the menu, this morning's breakfast features dishes inspired by the spell-binding landscapes unfolding beyond your window, which means that these streams must be studded with smoked salmon infused with cream cheese, and the fields must be littered with roasted potatoes, mushrooms and fresh tomatoes. If you're wondering what the chef's done, well, he's clearly folded it into an omelette.
While my fellow passengers continue on, for us, this is the end of the line. Lake Louise. Hardly an anticlimax. If you've any superlatives left after being in Canada for a few days, this is where you'll need them.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a little bit of heaven, I would say.
This is the iconic image of Canada. This is the shot that you'll see on the front cover of most of the brochures. And so often you see the picture, you dream of going there, you get there, and the reality is quite different. It's full of people and it's not living up to the expectation. I'm glad to say, here it is.
And if you're travelling with Scenic, you'll get an eyeful of it all day long with your accommodation at the revered Fairmont Chateau, Lake Louise, smack bang in the centre of it all. The original chateau was built around 1890 as a mere log cabin. Today, this 554-room hotel is known as the Diamond in the Rockies. But for all its charming decor and old-world elegance, all you'll really want to do here is gaze out the windows. To experience the natural wonders of Canada, join Scenic on a handcrafted luxury land journey. Stay in exclusive Fairmont hotels and resorts and enjoy scenic enrich experiences and scenic free choice activities. Secure your early bird offer for 2021. Getaway viewers can save an additional $400 per couple off all Canada smaller group land journeys. To learn more and to view early bird offers, visit scenic.com.au/getaway, call 1300 790 372 or speak to your nearest Scenic agent.